Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:52 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, April 29, 2021. So, uh, since we've come out, I'm just going to zoom in over here. Since we've come out of those March 25th lows, right? We had come up here. We got a little bit of a pullback. Basically, had what is potentially a bull trap up here, right? And the bears just can't get anything going right now. They must still be in hibernation or something, wherever they're at. So you've got 4207. So obviously we're going to open up above these highs. And then 4181 quarter was where the most volume was traded at yesterday. So we'll see if that comes into play later on in the session or not. Potentially not, right? So if we look at all the indexes, the Nasdaq's breaking up above its resistance. So if I start with it, and I'll go ahead and maximize this, I would like to see the Nasdaq stay above this 14,012 level today. And to be honest with you, now I'd like to see it stay up above 35, right, which it has a high chance to do. Looking at the Dow has the most work to do, right? It's that overhead resistance is from 33,998 to 34,043, right? And it's got to go through 33,958 on the way up there. It is still the laggard, but it looks like it may be breaking this downtrend. And if you look at this downtrend that it's been in since the start of this week, right? We had three horseshoes, right? A horseshoe down and back up, a horseshoe, if you look at it from up and back down, and another horseshoe from, going down, going back up. So this action that was really basically between 34,050, let's call it, and 33,663, right? All of this action slowly bleeding down this week has just been in that same zone that it was oscillating quickly in last week. So right now it's about the middle, maybe a little bit past the middle of that zone. So the Dow is still probably the least interesting index as far as I'm concerned. Looking at the Russell finally cracked up above 22,000, or I'm sorry, 2,303.7. So now, I mean, it can just sit here and go back to towards those all-time highs at 66. And you can see, really, it still needs to clear 2341 will be the next major hurdle. And there's not a whole lot in between here. You could look left on the chart. You have a little bit of consolidation that there's a low at 2326, let's call it 2326. And then right to 2330 probably. So 26 to 30, that would be the hurdle before it goes up towards this 41.6, which should be a little bit more meaningful of a spot to take a pause for it. Looking at the ES, just in full-on breakout mode, right? And I would say basically above the ES would get in trouble, right, on a retracement back down if it ends up getting back below, I'm going to call it 41.85. Looking at earnings overnight, Facebook last night blew out some numbers. They not only sold more ads, but they increased what they charged for the ads because basically them and Google have a monopoly on the ads. So good to be them. So as they look up, Facebook is definitely going to be powering higher today. And as you look at Apple, right, a little bit of a beat. Apple is a Dow component, so basically the Dow is a price-weighted index. So for every dollar up, it's about 6.6 Dow points. No, not a big deal on a stock that is basically you're up, $3-4. So it's not going to move because the Dow's price-weighted. It's not going to be as big of an impact as it will to the S&P 500, which is cap weighted, and the Nasdaq 100, right? So those two are going to get bigger gains out of Apple than the Dow will. So looking at the overnight action, 25 points even so far. If we look at, back to that March 25th low, we really haven't had any pullback except for those three aforementioned horseshoes last week, and they were modest in my opinion. But needless to say, that is what we've got, and that's it. So level 4A's 42.18 quarter, and then at the bottom 31.34 quarter. I wouldn't think the bottom's in play. I don't even think you get here, but like I said, breaking under that basically 41.85, you get back under that, and all bets are off to how far you could go to the downside. But not looking at that for today. So looking at all the action above yesterday's high, above yesterday's high, above yesterday's high, and above yesterday's high. Do we see a theme here? We do. So what could this be? If when I send out the overnight value areas, right, if we get these grids, if we get 8 of these indexes above both sets, right, so these indexes are going to be very easily above the daily value areas that you're looking at right now. When I send out the overnight value areas, right, if they can stay above those as well, you get a trending day to the upside, at least to the euro close, and then we'll see what happens after that. It could be a pop and a hold, right, and you get nothing else, but you should at least get there. So what is a pop or consolidation holds, right? Because this could just be a gap and a hold. That means you're going to be stuck inside the overnight value area ranges and really not be able to break out to the upside. What does a pop and a flop look like? When you start breaking down below the overnight value areas on all the indexes and start heading back down, I would say you're going to have a hard time trending down, right? If that is the case, you're probably going to get stuck basically right around these value area high zones for each of the indexes. I hope this helps you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.